Should the Yankees fire Aaron Boone? Let me know what you think about that down in the comments. I want to know all of your opinions. I want to know if you feel the Yankees should part ways with Aaron Boone. Now, the Yankees have played an awful stretch of baseball. They barely got out of the Texas series alive. After losing 5 in a row, they defeated Texas 3-2. That was a nail-biter, though, at the end. David Bednar threw over 40 pitches to get 5 outs. Struck out 5, walked 2. I really like Bednar. I feel like he has a great attitude. He has that grittiness. I love that about him. But at the same time, he made you sweat a little bit. He made you a little nervous. Some people want to call that a dominant performance. It took him 40-something pitches to get 5 outs. That was not a dominant performance, but it was good enough to get the job done. Should the Yankees part ways with Aaron Boone? Well, Jon Heyman, this is what he had to say. Boone and Cashman aren't going anywhere. Hal Steinbrenner, for whatever reason, has become the opposite of his father. Maybe he just doesn't like firing anybody. And then Heyman did mention, like, hey, this year hasn't been a good one. It hasn't been a good one. I will say that this is not Boone's best year. That was a very bad game against the Rangers. Obviously, the team is not a good team fundamentally. It's not good. It's not a good situation. Well, obviously, they won that final game, so I don't think John was talking about that. But even Jack Curry is starting to call Boone out. Jon Heyman is calling Boone out. Is Aaron Boone just not getting the job done? Now, just came off of a year where you made it to the World Series. You got beat up in that World Series. You made some really stupid moves in the World Series. But you're coming off of a year where you made it to the World Series. So why would you fire a manager? In fact, the Yankees extended Aaron Boone. That's the complete opposite of moving on from somebody, was when you extend them. Let's look at the numbers. Now, going back to 2022, the Yankees, for some reason, almost every year, 2022, 2023, 2024, they start off really hot. April and May are great months for the Yankees. In 2022, 15-6 in April, then May, 19-9, then June, best team in baseball, 22-6. People were talking about them like, are they going to win 116 games? Are they going to win 120 games? But then July, 500, 13-13. August, 10-18. 10-18. September, they did finish strong, went 17-8. Made it to the ALCS that year only to get defeated by the Houston Astros. Get swept in the ALCS. So then 2023, April 14-4. May 19-10. Then June 11-12. July 10-15. August 10-18. Then they finished out strong in September, but missed the playoffs, finishing 2 games above 500. Then last year, June 14-13, July 11-13, August 14-12, barely above 500 throughout those 3 months. And then September, I believe like 15-11 or 15-12. Now this year, 15-13, 17-9, 13-14, 12-13, and so far 1-5 in August. There's a pattern here, and the pattern is these teams, for some weird reason, tend to lose motivation in the middle of the season. I remember way back in the day when I was a kid, the Yankees would start off kind of slow, and then mid-May to late May, they would pick it up. And then I recall me sitting on my couch. I was maybe not even a teenager yet. I was like, Mom, the Yankees won again? Like, they won again? They won I just couldn't believe it because they just won all the time. They kept winning and winning and winning and winning. They saved their best brand of baseball for the middle of the season to the end. And that's why they won so many division titles. Should the Yankees move on from Aaron Boone? Here's what I think. I think Boone is a good guy. Really do. I think he's a good guy. But it's been 8 seasons. You made it to the World Series last year, completely outclassed by Dave Roberts. And in my opinion, I don't think Dave Roberts is a very good manager anyway. Got outclassed by Dave Roberts. I think there comes a time when a team needs new leadership. Now, you could absolutely love your boss. You could love your boss, and that's fine. I'm glad you love your boss. But it doesn't mean he's the right man for the job. Just because you like that boss does not mean you're going to work hard for that boss. If anything, you feel less pressure to work hard because you and your boss get along so well. And I'm not saying that's what's happening here, because this Yankee bullpen looks horrible. Horrible. Devin Williams forgot how to pitch here. So this, honestly, this collapse, probably, out of Aaron Boone's control. But then at the same time, some of the moves he makes in the game, whether bullpen moves, lineups, drives me freaking up the wall. So I think letting go of Aaron Boone now isn't going to happen. They could have gotten swept in Texas, gotten swept in New York against Houston in the upcoming series. Still don't think Boone would be fired. If anything, they would do that in the offseason. If anything. But at the same time, look at what John Heyman said. John Heyman said, Boone and Cashman, they're not going anywhere. But at the same time, he did admit that the situation is just not good. So I think that if the Yankees were to move on from Aaron Boone, and you're probably asking right now, Joe, well, who would they get? Who would they get? A different voice. That's who they would get. A different voice. And that's fine. Sometimes you need that. Let's put this into perspective a little bit. Joe Torre went 7 years without winning a title. He lost his job. And he managed the Yankees to 4 World Series titles before that. After 7 years of not winning, he lost his job. Aaron Boone is in year 8. Has his job. Think about that for a second. It's probably just nice to work for. Probably just easy. He's easy to handle, right? If you're Brian Cashman, you want a guy who's easy to handle, and Aaron Boone might be that guy. So who knows? But let me know if you guys think the Yankees should move on from Aaron Boone. I think that if the season continues to go on a downturn, that in 2026, there should be a new voice, 100%. I don't think that's crazy to say. There should be a new voice, because some of the things Boone does drive me crazy. And at the same time, it's not like he's driving us crazy and then winning ball games. It's been tough. It's tough this season. And at a certain point, you have to say, okay, it's been 8 years. Don't think this is working. And if the Yankees continue to play this way, that might be the case, where you move on from Aaron Boone because it's just not working. If you're Hal Steinbrenner, have some respect for yourself. If you're Hal Steinbrenner, you're investing all this money into this friggin' team. So much money, top 3 payroll year in and year out. You want better results than this. Yes, you made it to the World Series last year, but outside of that, you haven't sniffed a World Series in a bit. Haven't even sniffed a World Series. Get embarrassed in 2022. 2023, missed the playoffs. This year, you could miss the playoffs. If I'm Hal Steinbrenner, I'm going scorched earth this offseason. That's not who he is. We'll see what happens. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.